update is for the morning of Friday, the 7th of October, 2022, just after 8:30 a.m. Central Time. Well, as you can see, it's a sea of red in all the stock indices, and that's because of the jobs data. Let's go to that if we could right now. In the jobs data, 263,000 jobs. The market expected between 250 and 275. I put the high expectation there. There were outlier numbers of 300,000, some as low as 225, but not much more. Let me give you the summation. You can look at all the parts. If you don't head towards 100,000 job new creation, no matter what you do, you're going to keep everything too elevated, and that is the problem. You've got to get it down. Is it a move in the right direction? Well, it's not 315,000 jobs you created last time. And when you dive into it and you look at the numbers, which I included in a special report already sent out to all of my subscribers, so they got that this morning. You start diving in, where were the hirees, where were people letting go? Schools got hit especially hard on the seasonal part, where teachers come back, but not as many. I have a daughter-in-law that didn't go back to teaching, so I can see what's going on with all that as this goes on with there. Frustration, you make more money. In some cases, you make a lot more money working in just an entry retail job. It's a shame. Wholesale inventories comes out at 9 o'clock. The Federal Reserve gives us the credit data. That comes out at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And in Canada, their jobless rate slipped to 5.2% from the previous 5.4%. So is that going in the wrong direction? Another question you got to ask, what do people want to accomplish? Now, when you looked at the Fed Fund Watch page after the report came out, 92% probability that you'll have a 75 basis point hike in November. It would take a crash. I want to use that word very carefully. A crash in CPI to get the Fed to say, okay, we'll backtrack on that and go to 50 basis points. Do I expect that? I do not. So look for the 75 point hike as it comes out November 2nd. All right, let's go back to the chart action. That means the dollar's up, but not dramatically. Interesting. The dollar up ever so slightly. Currency's actually pretty stable here. The gold market doesn't like the fact that the Fed's going to have to stay strong. And in fact, most of the metals got hit with the exception, as you can see, of the platinum market. When we step over to the energies, they just keep adding on. China is going to be the big key there. If the Chinese economy can be revived, then you're going to get excess, and I want to use that word carefully, excess demand put onto OPEC. They'll send the oil there. That'll scoot up the Brent. The WTI will follow suit. In the nat gas, look at that. That's a big break. So I've got to look and see why the market is breaking that much. Don't know. I wish I can give you the reason. Bonds and notes, well, when I take a look at those, you can see the Fed's not going to stop anytime soon. There'll be a number at which we get the slowdown. This is a move in the right direction. Let's face it, it's not 315,000 jobs, it's 263,000. The problem is, a one's got to be in front of the number, and you got to show that the pace is going to slow. And that is when you start saying, okay, when will the Fed be pivoting? Up until that occurrence, folks, stop wasting your time. It isn't going to happen without that occurring. It's how the math is going to work with the rates. I'm going to be covering a lot in a few minutes in my ETF reports, because if you trade ETFs, futures, what I did is just what I told you last night. I told my futures traders to wait. All the report information is going to come out after I do the 5:30 recording, and the ETFs are where the opportunity might be. So I haven't seen how they've opened. I'm talking to you. As I finish this, I'll open the chart, start doing my work, and start recording right after 9 o'clock. But it should be exciting. So if you trade ETFs, you trade the futures, I put together a whole package for you each morning, Monday through Friday, primarily daily charts. And on the weekends, I go in and I give you the weekly charts for the long-term trade. So when you people say to me, Ira, do you do anything really long-term? That's where it's at. Because what you don't have to do it every day. You do it Saturday to Saturday. And if I see a big change, I bring in the daily charts and the weekly Monday through Friday. So I do that. I make points with it and so on. If you'd like to get this information, it's so darn simple. All you do is go to my website. Under the word market research, it's all there for you. You can follow my finger up here to the top of this, move your cursor and an icon will appear, give it a click, it'll take you right there. I'm Ira Epstein. You have a great weekend. I'll see you all over the weekend with our weekend reviews. Take care.